How's it going, ScrubGamers? Once again, it's been another week, another lot of DBS spotters, and therefore another episode of Previously DBS. So welcome back to another episode, this being episode number 22. And this week, as we know, we've been getting the set 15 spoilers. And this week was blue with green and multicolour starting from yesterday, but it doesn't seem like Bandai understood their own thing, which we're getting to see in a bit. So, as we know, for the blue, it's all about Universe 6, and so instead of going like normally we go over different archetypes, like with Turtles and Gold, we go to Turtle stuff, then the Gold stuff. As is all Universe 6, we just go over leaders, then the cards in the set, then the other stuff that we got shown. So without further ado, let's get into it and see these blue cards. So start off with the first one, we got, as we saw from the trailer, if you watched the trailer, we have a Cabba leader and a Kale leader. So with the Cabba leader, we have the effects and the unison theme to go through it with it from the set. So Cabba has an auto where you choose a Universe 6 card in your hand and discard it. And then this card, when this card attacks, draw 2 cards. And nice to see that it's just a Universe 6 card, and we don't yet have an extra card, I don't think. That's the Universe 6 trait like we do for Universe 7. But it's nice that it's just choose one Universe 6 card, not just a mono blue one. So you can potentially go this with a multicolor, which is nice. And it's just nice to attack, discard a Universe 6, and draw 2 cards. It's pretty decent. And it's Awaken. It's got a nice alternative Awakening along with a normal Awaken, in which when you use a 4 or less, or you have a blue Unison card with a specified cost of 2 in play, you may draw 2 cards, add cards from your life to your hand until you have 6 life left, and flip it over. It's a nice draw 2 and easy Awaken turn 2 if you don't get some acid. And then on its Awaken side is SS Cabba Proud Volley, and it's got 2 autos in activate battle. First one being, if it's your opponent's turn, when you play a blue Universe 6 card, switch it to 1 energy in active mode. So that's really nice. So if you're a rival for like 1 energy, then you get to untap that 1 energy. Or just play any blue Universe 6 in your opponent's turn, you get to, if it costs 2, it's technically costing 1 because you're getting one of those back. And it's got standard auto when it attacks, you draw 1. And then for his activate battle is once per turn with Spirit Boost 1, meaning you got to take a marker off Unison to trigger this. You use up to 1 blue Universe 6 card in your drop area in a combo with skills to get for the turn. So it's quite nice, as it doesn't say mono blue, just blue. So this could be a very easy way to combo multicolor from your drop to go in for a rival, which is really nice. So overall, not too bad a leader from looking at it, just on its own. And it could do quite well, but once again, blue has the same issue with yellow, which normally there's one leader that's the best in that color. Like for yellow, at the moment, it's the Kid Gohan leader. It just makes it so it's pointless running any other yellow leader because it does what all yellow wants to do the best. And blue has the same issue with that, where it's got Reboot Soul Striker, which does a lot more, like what blue wants to do, but a lot better. So it's going to have to contend with that. But it is quite an interesting one, and it being a new Universe 6 lead, it could have some synergy with the old stuff. And the news that comes with it is hit Battlefield Manipulator. It's a 2 specified cost blue uniform with 15k power. It's got an auto and 2 marker skills being a +1 and a -1. So the auto is once per turn, if it's your opponent's turn, when you play a blue battle card using a rival, add a marker to this card. So it's nice that you can get some extra markers on it outside of its +1 by rivaling blue battle cards in your opponent's turn, which we know there's quite a few of them because it's blue yellow, blue green, and then blue red as well. So you can do quite well for any blue deck and with using rival as well, which is quite nice. Its +1 is just a standard one that we all like, which is out of the main, draw 1 card. It's a good +1. And its -1 is a pretty strong one, where it's activate main for 2 blue if your leader card is blue or a Universe 6 card and your opponent has 3 or more energy. You flip your opponent's leader card to the front, and if you do, your opponent can activate their leader's Awaken and wish skills until the end of the turn. So just in case anybody asks, Awaken Surge does fall into this category because Awaken Surge is a branch of Awaken, and it says Awaken skill, so Awaken Surge is an Awaken skill. So it's a very strong one, so it's got the same kind of
skill as what the yellow hit stuff from set 7 kind of wanted to do, which is flip your opponent leader back over to their front side and prevent them from flipping over until your next turn. And this is very strong and really cheap as well, which is disappointing. So it's just a really strong blue, and the annoying thing is not locked to just the Universe 6. I like a Universe 6 archetype. It could be for any blue leader as well, which is another thing. Feeling like Bandai's dropping the ball with some of their effects would have just make it too generic. But still is a very strong unison. And then we have the Kale leader. So this is quite an interesting one. So on the front side, it's got 2 autos. First one is standard of when it attacks draw 1. And the other auto is at the end of your turn, you place up to 1 card under this card in your energy and rest mode. So as a ramp card, would it outshine SS4 Vegeta, which is a strong leader in blue that has a ramp based strategy? Would it compete with this? Would it be better than it? We don't know until it's come out and we give it a try. But one thing that does look nice on it is that you don't need to attack to try and ramp. You just need to put something under it, and in turn you then take it from under it and charge it. And then its awaken is it when your life's to 4 or less, you may draw 1 card, which untap an energy and flip it over. So the mid-range awaken. So on its awaken side, he's got the same 2 skills when it attacks, draw 1, and same also at the end of either player's turn. But this time is at the end of each player's turn. You choose up to 1 card under this card and place it in your energy and rest mode. So the front side just does it at the end of your turn, whereas the awakened leader of awakened side does it during either player's turn. So it's going to be quite interesting, ramping on both your turn and your opponent's turn. And then it's got an activate battle once per turn. This card gains 5,000 power for each card for the battle for each card under this card. So just once a turn, it can get a boost for every card underneath it. So, by the looks of it, so you need extra other cards to ramp, which is something the SS4 Vegeta doesn't need. So that's one thing that gives the SS4 Vegeta an edge, meaning that all it needs to do is connect to do damage to the ramp, whereas this needs extra cards to actually do things, like go under it to then ramp. So it'll be interesting to see what we get to help it ramp. But then we have the unison for the Kale, which is SS Khalifa Spirited Striker. So it's just got 2 mark skills, +1 and -3, and it's a specified cost 2 15k unison. So the +1 is an activate main where this card gets 5,000 power for the turn, then you choose up to 1 of your opponent's battle cards with an energy cost of 2 or less and return it to his hand. So not a great skill for +1, because you'd rather be bottom decking stuff than bouncing back to hand, especially on a really restricted 2 or less battle cards for your opponent. That's not great. But then it's -3 is an activate battle where if your leader card is a blue Kale card and you have 5 more energy, so meaning it's got energy restrict, so you can only do it when you get to 5 energy, and it's got to be with this leader as well because there's no other blue Kale. You may place this card under your leader card, and if you do, you play up to 1 Kefla with 3,000 power or less from your deck, then shuffle your deck. Now that's pretty strong. There's quite a few different Keflas that you can get off this. You've got the one from set 7, that's blue yellow, that has Aegis and Barrier, and if it uses Aegis, you tap down 3 of your opponent's energy. You got the one for set 4, that's the red one, that's I think 6 or 5 cost. That when it attacks, you draw a card and gain 5k, and he's got dual attack, so that's a pretty strong one to go for. And then there's other ones, like I think we've got a promo one that didn't have blocker, but it's at the end of your turn, restood, and it's a blue yellow. And you also got the one from draft box 5, which once per turn you can draw 2, and then in your opponent's main phase at the start of it, you can untap 2 blue energy, or untap 2 energy, which is very strong. Another good one to go for it. So quite a few good ones to go, but would it be used? Like, would it be targeted? It seems quite easy enough to do. It does seem like a good leader, and it's a nice, interesting one that's specifically archetype and leader lots like a really good hit should be, in my opinion. Now get into the cards for the Universe 6. So first one we got is the blue Cabba cards. So Cabba gets 3 different cards in the set. First one is a blue version of the one we got for set 1, but with different kind of skills. So it's a 1 cost 5k with an auto of add 1 card from your life to your hand. When this card attacks, it gains 10k power and crit forward for the turn. So it's very similar to saying Cabba from set 1, but it's blue instead of red, and it gains critical instead of double strike. So it's just another one of those helpful soft awakeners that get a nice keyword skill and become a 15k base, which is good. The near one we get is SS Cabba Universe 6 combination, which is a super combo for the deck, and it's nice that it's a Cabba one. So it's a Sparking 5/1. So all you need to do is have a lead as blue, 5 cards in your drop, and then when you combo it, you draw 1. Standard. And then we have an SR for Cabba, being SS Cabba Proud Zenith, which is a 19k 5 cost. It's got unique dual attack and blocker, with 2 autos and activate main / battle. The first auto is when this card is played, you choose 1. If it's your turn, you draw 2 cards. But if it's your opponent's turn, you place up to 1 of your opponent's battle cards with energy cost of 4 or less at the bottom of his owner's deck. Then you untap a blue energy. So that's pretty decent. So pretty good effects. For both either player's turn, like drawing 2 is quite nice, and also bottom decking one of your opponent's battle cards, even though it's restricted to 4 or less, it's quite nice, and then also untap an energy. And then you got the other auto at the end of your turn, which is got active mode, meaning you can attack twice with it, and then restand to have it block. But you're not going to be paying 5 for it, because it's activate main / battle, which is for 1 blue and 2 of any color energy, so for energy in total, with at least 1 being blue. If there are a total of 3 or more blue and or yellow cards in your battle area and or combo area, you play this card from your hand. So you can easily play as free energy, and it's quite varied in when you can play it, because it's an activate main / battle. That's pretty cool, and quite a nice SR for blue. Like that's a very generic good blue card that might see itself played in almost any blue deck, because it's very generic. Then we have some of the Kale cards, blue Kale cards. We've got 3 of them as well. So Kale also has 3 of cards with itself on it. First one is Kale Ready to Fuse. So this is a 1-drop 4k with an auto. When this card is played, you look at the 5 cards from the top of your deck, add up to 1 blue Universe 6 card with energy cost of 3 or less, or 1 blue Unison with a specified cost of 2 among them to your hand, and shuffle your deck. So it's basically just like a 1-drop searcher, like we got for almost every archetype and color, either such as for a U6 card, that's got to be blue or 3 or less, or for a blue Unison, which fits in for both the Cabba and Kale, because both the Unisons are 2 specified cost. The deactivate main is once per turn for 1 blue. You look up to 3 cards from the top of your deck, you add up to 1 either blue Khalifa or Kefla among them to your hand, and place the remaining cards at the bottom of your deck in any order. So that's quite nice. You don't often get that on 1-drops that are played to search things. Normally, once they're played to search something, that's it, they're gone, just combat power, which this Kale is like similar to the Berry Blue, where once it comes down, has a bit of a search, but then has an extra effect where just for 1 extra energy a turn, you can get a beneficial effect that actually helps the archetype, like Berry Blue gets back and reuses the full cards. This allows you to look at top 3 and get some more cards for your strategy, which we'll see in a bit. Then Kale also has a negate in SS Kale Universe 6 combination, 3 cost 10k. It's 3 skills. The first one is counter attack, where you negate the attack player's card, but you're not going to be paying 3 for it because it's permanent. If your leader card is a Universe 6 card and it's your opponent's turn, you reduce the energy cost of this card in your hand by 2. So that's very good. And the nice thing is it's just the Universe 6 card, not a universe, like a certain color Universe 6, like a blue Universe 6 or yellow, or K or Cabba. It's just a Universe 6 card. So there's a few Universe 6 cards, so it's nice that you can use them with any of them, and it's just in your opponent's turn. If your leader cards that has that trait, it becomes a 1 cost negate. But not only that, but it also has that is beneficial to make you want to use it more in the blue Kale deck, where if your leader card is a blue Kale, when this card is played, you may choose 1 card in your hand and discard it. And if you do that, your opponent can attack with battle cards with energy costs greater than their current energy for the turn, unless they choose 2 cards in their hand and place it at the bottom of the deck each time. So it's nice. Like is like a themed like a theme for the Kale, the Heroic Prospect, which is quite nice. But you have to discard for this, whereas you don't have to for a Heroic Prospect, which is quite interesting. And then lastly, Kale also gets itself an SR for the color with Kale Rampage Demon, which is a 5-cost 30k. Also has Deflect and Double Strike, and 1 long lengthy auto. So the auto goes, when this card is played without using skills, you choose one of 2 effects. First option is you choose all your opponent's battle cards for energy cost of 3 or more, place it at the bottom of their deck, and if your leader card is a blue Kale, place up to 1 card from the top of your deck under your leader. So that's quite nice. So you can wipe your opponent's board of big things, and if you're playing on theme with blue Kale, you then put a card under so your leader can ramp. And the other option is if you have 7 or more energy, you can choose all of your opponent's battle cards ignoring barrier, placing at the bottom of their decks, and this card gains barrier and dual attack for the turn. So that's pretty strong effects. First one being able to help ramp, but only if you pay 5 for it first, so you can get the 5, play this, choose that effect, you then having 6 energy at the end of your turn. Or if you have 7 or more energy, you can do a board wipe through barrier and give yourself a 30k dual attack double striker, which is quite nice because you'll be having those extra 2 energy open. So it's not too bad. So far it's just one card that helps ramp Kale, which is interesting. So let's see what else there is. So now we have the blue Kefla cards. So the first one we have is the 1-drop Kefla, which is a 1-drop 4k in SS2 Kefla Universe 6 combination. Standard cantrip effect, or when it's played to draw a card. And then it also has, and they both, actually I'll just go for both because they both have the same activate main, which for 2 energy, doesn't matter what color, just 2 of any color energy. If your leader card is a blue Kale, you place this card under your leader card from your hand, and you can't play non-Universe 6 battle cards with 3,500 for 35,000 power or less for the game. You can still play tokens. So this is how you ramp in the deck. You have to pay 2 energy and lose a card from your hand under your battle cards. So essentially, you're paying 2 and then get extra energy at the end of the turn. So it's like objection. Yeah, it's the same as ejection, but you're not losing 2 cards, you're losing 1 card, because with objection you have to pay the 2, then choose a card from your hand and put in your energy, where this card is like playing objection, but you charge the objection itself, which is not too bad. And the other one is SS Kefla Rapid Repulse, I think. It's a 3-cost 15k with deflect, and as I said, it's got the same activate main as the 1-drop, but also has another activate main, which is a limit 1 for 1 blue energy. If your leader card is a blue Universe 6 card and you have 2 or more energy, play this card from your hand, then draw 1. So that's quite interesting. So that is it's like Kale and Kefla that are both 3 costs that can be played quite cheaply for energy down to help with any like Union Patara and stuff, which is quite cool. Then we have the blue Frost card. So Frost also gets a few cards, 3 of them. So first one we have is the 2-cost Frost, being Frost Evolutionary Milestone. It's a 10k blocker. With an auto, when this card is played, you look up to 7 cards from the top of your deck, add up to 1 blue Universe 7 card with entry cost of 5 or less from amongst your hand, and shuffle your deck. Not too bad, nice search it, but 2 costs could be a bit costly. But we'll see if when the whole thing's released. Next up from that we have the 3-cost Frost, being Frost Universal Deception. This is a unique barrier 19k, 3-cost. With 2 skills, first one being an auto where you pay 2 blue to trigger it. At the start of your main phase, choose up to 1 blue Frost card with entry cost of 4 in your hand and play it on top of this card. And the other skill is an activate main where also for 2 blue, if Frieza or Universe 6 card is in play in your battle area, play this card from your hand, then choose up to 1 of your opponent's battle cards in rest mode and place it at the bottom of his deck. So that's what blue wants to do, is bottom deck stuff. And but the only issue with this is it's got to be in rest mode, which is not too bad. But it's nice removal for 2 energy, and you give yourself a free cost 19k, and having barrier on it means that it's going to be harder to remove for your opponent. And then the 4 cost that we see that can potentially evolve in it with that 3 cost auto skill is Full Power Frost Embodied Might, which is a 4-cost 20k deflect, with also an auto and activate main skill. The auto is when this card is played, you choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards, place it at the bottom of his deck. So once again, more bottom decking, which is what blue really wants to do, and this has no restriction, just any blue any card gets bottom decked as long as it doesn't have power. And then the activate main is once per turn, you place all cards under this card in and around its drop areas. If you place one or more cards in the drop using the skill, this card gets 5,000 power and double strike for the turn. So if you play this off by using the free costs and auto, then you can give yourself a 25k double striker, which is quite nice. So not a bad chain. I'm not sure if it's going to be that viable, because what is in blue, which has the best energy management, but it is quite costly, so I'm not sure if it would be used in competitive play. But still pretty cool and pretty nice for casual stuff. Then we have the blue hit cards. So the first one we got is a free cost hit universe 6 combination. It's a 15k critical with a counterplay skill, just play this card. But you're not going to be paying free for it because it's permanent, where during your opponent's turn you reduce the energy cost of this card in your hand by 1, meaning it's a 2-cost counterplay. And even though it just plays itself, it does have an auto when it is played. Choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards with energy cost of 3 or less and return it to his owner's hand. So we're getting some cards that bottom deck, but then we go back to just bouncing back the hand, which isn't great for but on the hit. So it's not great. Maybe nice to get a critical, 2-cost critical 15k to drop on your opponent's turn, and maybe put something back to hand, but then it's got free cost or less. And unless it's free cost, you're basically just paying the same and you didn't do anything with your energy on your turn. And then the other hit card we get is a 5-cost hit on guard, which is a 25k double strike with an EX evolve skill for 1 blue. If you have a 3 or more energy, you can evolve on top of a hit card with energy cost of 3 or 4. And also along with that, it has a counter attack skill where you get the attacker play this card, and you're not going to be paying 5 for it because if it's permanent, during your opponent's turn you reduce the energy cost of this card in your hand by 2. So that card's not too bad. Like it's pretty good actually. Like the counters, like don't get me wrong, the counter attack skill is not great. You don't want to be paying free energy to negate an attack play itself. Paying free just to negate one attack, that's not great because you have things like Topo and stuff, which do the same thing for less and have a beneficial effect to stop more attacks. But this is quite nice, as if you remember, we do have the Goku and hit Arrival card, that's blue-yellow. So you can Arrival M being a 19k dual attack. Well, 19k blocker that has the activate battle skill to restand itself. Swing with that, use the activate battle to restand it, then pay a never blue, never energy and being blue to evolve this on top of it, and now you just had a 19k swing and now a 25k double string for 2 energy. Is quite cool. So that's a nice little combination you can have with that. And then we go on to the blue Kefla cards. So these ones are quite cool. Like so the first one is the 2-cost Kefla Universe 6 Fusion Warrior. This one is quite an interesting one and a very good one from Mono Blue because of its free skills. So the first one, which is my favorite one of the skills in this one, is when this card is played from your hand, you draw 2 cards and choose 1 card in your hand and place it on the bottom of your deck. So that's a really really good because you get drawn 2 new cards and then bottom deck something that you might want in deck. And a lot of the time, it is nice that you might like draw some stuff that you want in deck. You don't want to draw now, maybe draw later, or just have in deck so you can search for another skill. And this is perfect to help do that. And for 2 energy, it's not too bad play because if you think about it, we got the Goku Black Unforeseen Darkness, which does the same thing, but only if you're playing multicolor in blue-yellow. But instead, while that gives you 2 draws, makes you discard, and then untaps energy. This doesn't give you energy, but still has some more beneficial things, putting stuff back in deck and still drawing 2. Then we have the activate main, which is for 1 blue. If your opponent has 2 or more energy and you choose 1 Kefla and 1 Kale, in your drop area, you play this card from your hand and place those chosen cards under it. So then you can, that makes it a bit like Goku Black, where you technically play it for 1 energy,
because you can do it that way to pay for one. That's only if you're playing like the theme stuff, or if you're playing it just on its own, even just a blue good stuff deck, that auto is very strong. And a good reason to make this place as a play set in any universe, if you play the theme with blue universe 6 stuff, is an activate main, whereas limit 1 meaning you can only activate this skill on all copies of the card once a turn. If your leader card is a blue universe 6 card and you discard this card from your hand, look up to 5 cards from the top of your deck, add to 1 blue or yellow Kefla or Kale card with energy cost of 4 or less among them to your hand and shuffle your deck. So it's a similar thing to like we had in the last set with Farudagon and stuff, where you've got cards that are like just discard them to get a search from the top 5, which is quite nice to get out a bit of consistency, which is good. Then we have the 4-drop one, which is SS Kefla Unending Evolution. Now this is a 20k dual attack with Union Patara, where for 2 blue you can evolve it in attack position or in active mode on top of any Kefla or Kale. Now it does have an auto of when this card is played from your deck, you draw 1 card and then choose one of your opponent's battle cards placed at the bottom of his deck. So as we know, we saw that the Unison can play Kefla from the deck, so it's another target that gets that beneficial skill. And then we also have its activate main, where for 2 blue, and if your leader card is a Universe 6 card, note there, just Universe 6 card, no color restriction, and your opponent has 4 more energy, you may place this card at the bottom of his inner's deck, and if you do, you choose it to 1 blue Kefla card with an energy cost of 8 in your hand and play it. Now, there is a target in this set, which we're going to see soon, but the only other target is the promo Kefla we got in the TPs for the Surge expansions. It's like an 8-drop one. If it will be KO'd, you can do something either I can't remember it is. If it KO'd, you do something to prevent it from being KO'd. And the other one, and it's a 30k that at the end of your turn restarts itself. Not great. The better target is the one that's in the deck, in the set, sorry. And then for the next one, we have some blue Universe 6 cards. First one is Champa, Right on Time. 3 cost 19k with double strike, and has a counter attack where you negate the attack, play this card. But once again, you're not going to be paying free for it because it's permanent, where during your opponent's turn it reduces the energy cost of this card by 1 in your hand. It's not too bad. Negate attack and give yourself a double striker for 2 energy, it's not too bad. And then we also have Valos Right on Time, which is also a 3 cost 19k, but this time with dual attack, and it's a counter play instead of a counter attack, where you play this card, and if the battle card being played as an energy cost of 3 or less, you return it to its owner's hand instead. So that's nice. Like what blue wants is preventing things from being played. It's annoying, but it is what blue does. And just like Champa, you're not going to be paying free for it because it's permanent, where during your opponent's turn, its cost is reduced by 1 in your hand. So not too bad cards, quite interesting and really good ones for the theme deck, for the theme of the set in blue. Then we have more other blue Universe 6 card. First one we have is Dr. Rota Powers Draw. This is just a cantrip, 1 cost 5k. When it's played, you draw a card. Nothing more to say there. And then we have the 2 Namekians, Sano and Purina. I think I said Sauno and Purina, I think that's the names. So Sano, its Universe 6 combination is similar to something we've seen in set 2, where it's a 3 cost 15k, 1 cost 10k, a 1 cost 10k combo, with an auto at the end of a battle, once this guy was using the combo from your hand, you play this card from your drop in area and rest mode. So just like the ones we got in set 2, where we had 1 for each color, like for blue it was the Gohan one, feature Gohan. And then for Purina, it's a 3 cost 15k, but only a 0 cost 5k combo. With an auto, when this card is played, you draw 1 card, then choose up to 1 of your opponent's battle cards with energy cost 3 or less, and return it to the owner's hand. So it's not too bad. It draws a card when you play it, but then it bounces not bottom decks, which is not great. That'd be good in Cube, which I might play in Cube. I'm not sure yet. Need to look, probably look into the color, what's in the set to see what would be handy to add to the Cube or make changes to. But it does seem like a good choice for it. Now, then we come to the last of the blue battle cards for Universe 6 now, which being the skillless ones. So the skillless ones for this
for the set is a 2-cost 20k Batamo and a 3-cost 30k Vegeta, I think it's called, which is nice. So, more on theme with more skills cards for Universe 6 and for blue, which is pretty cool. Because this is nice because it gives an option to use the blue skillless stuff if you want in Universe 6, which is nice because you got that Janemba that we know that was limited on the last ban list, and we also have the Shield, which is a nice bit of skillless tech. And I think we had, not last set but the set before as well, we had a little bit extra blue skillless support in the Gohan stuff, which could go for it. So like blue skillless is getting a nice few things, and that's something you can add to Universe 6 if you wanted to. Then with the extra cards, we got 3 of them here, with first one being Mentor's Rescue, a 2-cost counterplay, where if your leader card is a Cabba card, so specifically for a Cabba, it can either be used with this new Cabba for blue, or the old yellow one, because as you remember, the old yellow one was a blue-yellow deck. If the battle card being played has 20k power or more, you can play it to 1 blue Universe 7 Vegeta card with blocker from your deck, negate its non-keyword skills for the game, and shuffle your deck. I think there's not too many options for that. I know there's a blue-red one from the starter deck, the Universe 7 starter deck. There's also the one from the Draft Box 5, it's the Universe 7 United, Vegeta Universe 7 United, that I know off the top of my head. Not sure if there's any more, but they're not bad choices, but it's not great either. And then we have, now we have Universe 6 finally gets its Assemble card in Universe 6 Assemble. It's a 1-cost with a permanent activate main and an activate battle. So the permanent is if your leader card is Universe 6 card, you can activate this card's activate battle skill from your hand without paying its energy cost. So that's something we've been getting recently with a few extra cards, where it becomes costless for one of its skills if you meet the restriction, the condition, which in this case is your leader just has to have the Universe 6 trait. Therefore, as activate main, its effect is look up to 7 cards at the top of your deck, then add up to 1 blue Universe 6 card with an energy cost of 5 or less among them to your hand and shuffle your deck. Not too bad. There's quite a few targets for it, and it doesn't say mono blue, just blue, so it also works with the old any multicolor blue Universe card that is 5 cost or less. And the activate battle card skill that you can use for free is use up to 1 blue Universe 6 card in your drop area in a combo, and it gets minus 5k combo power and has its skills negated for the turn. So you can use this at worst for a free combo if you need be. So it's not going to be dead in your hand, which is nice, because it's one of the issues with sometimes with extra cards, where if you don't have the energy to pay for them, they become dead in your hand if you tap out, whereas this one can still be used even if you tapped out. And then the other one we got is Universe 6 Combination, a 1-cost blue counter attack, where you negate the attack, and then if your leader card is a Universe 6 card, play up to 1 Universe 6 card with energy cost of 1 from your drop area with its skills negated for the turn. Now this is quite interesting because it just it isn't restricted to any kind of Universe 6 card, so not like specifically Cabba or Kale, and also not a specific color either, just a Universe 6 card. And then what you bring out of it with its effect is any Universe 6 card with energy cost 1 from your drop area with skills negated. So it can be, it's not, once again, that is also not color restricted either. And it's activate main for 1 blue. If your leader card is a Universe 6 card, choose all your battle cards with both Saiyan and Universe 6 card, Universe 6, and they get 5,000 power for the turn. So that is something that only works like, it's kind of like Veggie support. Like it only works with battle cards that are like Cabba, Kefla, and Kale. Then the last extra card we got is the SR one we got for the set, which is a Sister's Determination. This is a 1-drop, 1-cost counter attack, where if your leader card is a Universe 6 card, once again not a character or color locked, you negate the attack, and then you may choose 1 blue card in your hand and discard it. If you do, your opponent can only attack 1 more time full of turn with battle cards, with battle card or unison card. It's weird it says card, not cards, with 20k power or more. So that's nice. That's like a themed Violent Rays, technically. Like maybe a better Violent Rays for Universe 6. Now, why it doesn't stop them full stop from being an attack of them, just get one more attack for both unison and battle cards. Where with the Violent Rays, you either choose battle card or unison, and if you chose battle cards, they can still attack the unisons. That could be 20k, and vice versa. Whereas this just goes, you get the attack, discard a blue card, and then both unison and battle cards can have one more attack, or either of them can have one more attack with them for the turn if they're 20k or more. So that's pretty decent. And then it has the activate battle with a limit 1. If it's your opponent's turn, you choose it to one of your cards, it gets 10k power for the battle. Then choose it to one of your mono blue energy and switch to active mode. So that's quite nice. It's technically a free 10k once a turn. You can use it that way. So that's a really good generic card. So that second effect is really good generically for blue. It's like having extra Goku's Kamehameha, just you only get 10k instead of 15k. But then if you're playing a Universe 6 deck, you also have the extra counter attack that's pretty strong. So that is a pretty nice card. Then we have the SPR. So once again, as we saw last time, black and yellow only got 1 SPR, while red got 2. And we get the same here, where blue is only getting 1 SPR, and that is, and at least is a decent choice, it's a very good choice for it, which is the hit unison we saw that came with Cabba. And if you look at that, that's a really, really nice art, and on a very strong card as well. And that's nice because the card is really good, and it's going to make it so there's more copies of it in circulation because I have both the SR print and SPR print. And that's one good thing about having good cards have SPR prints as well, meaning there's more copies because there's 2 different versions in the same set. Because you do get some people that like to foil out the deck, and some people just want the card itself and don't mind having the SR. And then also what we have is the TPs, and one which really feels like it was in the wrong set, and that, in my opinion, is Trunks. So we got a 1-cost 4k Trunks Heroic Aspiration. So this is a technical cantrip where it's got an auto. When its card is played, you choose 1 of 2 effects. You either draw a card, or you add up to 1 Tapion Sword from your deck to your hand and shuffle your deck. Now this is a port for an archetype that was only in the last set, so I don't see why this couldn't be in the TP for the last set, since it supports a set from the last set, and that would have been a better choice. But instead they pushed it back into this set's TP instead, which is weird. And the other one we got for blue is Kefla and Kale Saiyan Synergy. So this is a 4-cost 15k with a 2-cost 10k combo. So Warcry level of a combo cost and power. And it has unique, permanent, when this card is also treated as yellow, and it can't be killed in this battle once per turn. So just remember to note that permanents, unless they state, are only active in the battle area, unless they say otherwise. So unless they say in all areas, they're only live in the battle area. So that means this won't be charged and count as a yellow and blue card, because permanents are only activate in the battle area unless otherwise stated in the permanent. And then it's got an auto. If your leader card is a Universe 6 card at the end of a battle, which this card is using the combo from your hand, play this card from your drop area in rest mode. So it's just a not very good Warcry. So it comes into play, but it does nothing else. That's not great. Yeah, it's not. Once again, blue gets shafted on the TPs. But now that's enough with blue, because now Bandai showed us some of the multicolor cards. That's right, we're getting multicolor cards in this set. And the first one is red-green cards. So these ones are pretty good. And we've got first one we got is a Vegeta Omnipotent Elite, which is a 2-cost 16k red-green card. It has energy source, unique, dual attack, and blocker, so like a lot of skills. And a very interesting permanent where if your opponent has 5 or fewer cards in their hand, then you negate this card's energy exhaust skill in all areas. So it's not too bad if your opponent, so that's pretty good for if you're going second and your opponent goes first and they just charge and pass. You can then charge a red-green card, turn 1, inactive, which is pretty cool. And it's got 2 skills. First one is an auto, when this card is played, draw 1 card, so it's a cantrip. And the other one is auto, once per turn if your leader card is green. At the end of your turn, if you activate this card's blocker skill, you switch it to active mode. Oh no, at the end of your turn, or when you activate this card's blocker skill, you switch to active mode. So that's quite nice, so you can play it, draw a card, swing with it twice because it's got dual attack, then enter and restand it, and then in your opponent's turn, block with it, restand it again, the block with it again. So that's pretty cool. So and it's an SR as well, so it's quite an interesting one. It's a pretty decent card. Might even put it in the queue. And then the other one we got is SS Broly Annihilation Personified. This is just a 4-cost 19k energy source and arrival, and the first arrival for red-green that can either be paid by a red energy or a green energy. It's nice when we're getting rivals now with that choice. And it's got 2 autos. First one is if your opponent has 3 or more energy, when this card is played from your deck, it gets 6k power and double strike for the turn. And if you want to know how you get from deck, there is the 1-drop from this set that allows you to play it from deck. If you've got the 2-cost red fill card in your drop and you pay 2 energy, it's not great though. Like, just rival it in. It's a lot cheaper. And the other skill, which is pretty good for the card, is when this card attacks, you choose it to one of your opponent's battle cards and KO it. It's pretty nice, just to rival this in, swing with it, KO sync one of their cards, and put in 19k attack at your opponent's leader. So pretty good. This is most likely going in the cube, and a pretty good one, pretty good option for the red-green Broly deck, in my opinion. Then we have the last one being Great Raditz Might Unleashed. Now this is the lackluster one from these 3, in my opinion. It's a 4-cost 19k with energy source, dual attack and blocker, and has 3 skills, with the first one being Limit 1, where you either pay a red or a green. One of your red or green non-Great Ape Raditz cards with blocker is removed from your battle area by opponent's skill. You can play this card from your hand. So you can play this out cheaper, but your opponent has to remove one of your red or green Raditz blockers, which I cannot off the top of my head remember if there is any. I know there's one from the set in red. I think it's red. I think it's a blocker. But I don't know if there's many. Just to play it down, it's not great. But it does have a good auto of when this card attacks, you choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards with energy cost greater than the number of cards in their hand and KO it. So that's pretty cool. Not sure when that's going to be live in the meta, in a hand control deck. That might be relevant, but I don't know of a red-green hand control deck if I'm being honest. And another way to play it in cheaper than paying 4 for it is activate main, where for 1 red and 1 green, if a fill extra card is in a battle area, play this card from your hand. And note it just says battle area in a battle area, meaning if either you can have a fill card or your opponent can have a fill card to make it to meet the conditions for that. It's not a great card, but the first 2 are pretty nice in my opinion for that for red green. Nice additions for red green. And then we go on to blue yellow. So once again, blue yellow is getting more cards. Like, it does feel like blue yellow is getting too much support out of the colors. Like out the 6 different color combinations, blue yellow feels like it's getting all the support and all the best cards. And if you feel that way, then we're right. They're getting all the best support as we've seen by the meta at the moment. And the first one we have is SSG Son Goku and Hit Temporary Truce. It's a 3-cost 20k with energy source critical, and it also has Aegis blue yellow once per turn. And then a permanent where if there is a blue yellow multicolor card in your energy, reduce the combo cost of this card in your hand by 1. And as you can see, it's a 1-cost 5k combo. So it's nice. It does the same thing as the Bojack from the expansion and the Hit from set 8, I think, where it just
becomes a cheaper multicolor combo to help with rifle and stuff. So not too bad, not great, but not bad either. Then we have the next one, which is Vegeta and Cabba Lessons Learned, which is the arrival for this one, similar to the Broly we just saw, but for this color combination. This is a 4-cost 19k energy source, but this one has dual attack and is an arrival blue-yellow for either 1 blue or 1 yellow. And has an auto. When this card is played, you use one of your opponent's battle cards with energy cost of 4 or less in rest mode and place it at the bottom of his owner's deck. So that's not something you really want to give blue-yellow, where they've got a mid-battle card they can bring in and bottom deck one of your opponent's battle cards with energy cost of 4 or less in rest mode, which is going to be annoying because if your opponent's swinging in with a 4-cost that doesn't have barrier and they go in, you just rival this in and bottom deck it in the battle. That's pretty decent, and like it's good, but it just sucks to have for blue-yellow to have more support like that. And as I said, there's a 8-cost Kefla in the set, and here it is, the SS2 Kefla Lightning Speed, 8-cost 30k, dual color as well, blue and yellow, and it has Energy Exhaust, Double Strike, and Blocker. And this also has an arrival skill, which is arrival blue-yellow for 2 blue and 1 green for 1 yellow. So a free energy arrival, like we saw we had that corner in the champ pack, the volume 3. So it's a more costly one, but it has an auto. When this card is played, you choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards, ignore and barrier, and place it at the bottom of his deck. That's really good. That's pretty strong. Pretty strong effect to go with the free cost to arrival in, where just through barrier, bottom deck a battle card. So if you're playing, like when this releases, it just means that if you're going in, even if you're going with a battle card, unless it's indestructible, you could be susceptible to this just ruining your kill swing. And it also comes with more skills, which is an activate main. Limit 1, if your opponent has 3 or more energy and you choose one card in your hand and discard it, this card gains dual attack for the turn. And if the card you discarded with the skill is a copy of this card, you draw 2 cards and then choose it to one of your opponent's cards, switch to rest mode. So that's quite nice. We saw this similar to the Broly in red, where it has a skill that triggers where you discard a card to get an effect as long as you meet the condition, and it had the extra bit where if you discarded another copy of itself, you get an extra line of text and an extra bit of an effect. So this is quite nice how you can just discard a card to give it dual attack, and if you discard another copy itself, you then replace yourself. You basically +1 off that, and then also tap down one of your opponent's cards, and it's just cards as well. So it could be your leader, energy, unison, battle card, anything as long as it's on barrier. But that's just nice that you can choose one of your opponent's energy and tap it down by just discarding a card to give it dual attack. So you +1, tap down energy, and get a dual attack double striker for the turn. That's a very strong card, and an SR to boot as well. And now we're going to jump to green-yellow. So by the looks of it, it doesn't look like they go in number order as well. And it looks like red-yellow, blue-yellow. No, red-yellow, blue-red, and blue-green did not get supported by the multicolors in this set, which sucks. And for the for the green-yellow cards, they're all following the theme of the Turtles the Turtle stuff. So first one we got is Raisin and Lacasse, twin teamwork. So this is a 3-cost 9k, energy exhaust, and it's got 3 skills. First one being a counterplay, where if you lead a card as a Turtles Crusher Corpse card, you play this card, and then the battle card being played is played with its skills to get it for the turn. So Cold Bloodlust for Turtles. And then the other 2 skills are permanents. First one being if you lead a card as a Turtles Crusher Corpse card, and there are 3 or more face-up life cards between you and your opponent, negate this card's energy source skill in all areas. So this gives us this shows us that it shows us that you can actually do now the new support with the old support, and we have a way of how you could do that, because as we saw with the yellow stuff, that it did look like a lot of this, like it was trying to make it so it could use
the old green stuff with itself. And now we have reasons why, like how that can be done with this Raisin Lack actually being able to be have a multicolored charge energy, so you can still have green but also yellow in your energy to help use the old stuff as well. And then the ever permanent is if you lead a card as a Turtles Crusher Corpse card and it's your opponent's turn, you reduce the energy cost of this card in your hand by 1. So it becomes a 2 cost Cold Bloodlust for a Turtles Crusher Corpse, which is quite interesting. It's pretty good, but it's only in your opponent's turn, so that's not too bad. Yeah, Cold Bloodlust is a really good card, and you can see by having it in every archetypes, like it's limited for a reason. The actual Cold Bloodlust. So if you get one like this, it's a 2 cost. It's really good, and it's a good thing to support the Turtles stuff, and also give yourself a way to play the new stuff with the old stuff. And then next we're getting into the Turtles ones. So we got Turtles Dark Power Unleashed, which is a 6 cost 25k. And by the way, they all have a 1 cost 5k combo. And this one is an EX Evolve for 2 Green Turtles Zeno with energy cost of 4. And we see that there's one in the old in the set 12 cards. It's set 12 deck. It also has a Wait till Rival in with Rival Green Yellow for 1 yellow and 2 of any color, which is quite interesting. Not like unlike the Kefla, which requires 2 blue and 2 yellow, it's just 1 yellow and 2 of any other color, which is quite interesting. And it also has 2 skills, 2 autos, which the first one being once per turn. When this card is KO's an opponent's battle card, switch this card to active mode, then choose 1 card in your opponent's hand and discard it. And if you don't know how it does that, either it does that by attacking the opponent's battle card, or by triggering its revenge when it uses the blocker. And then we have the ever auto being when this card is removed from your battle area by opponent's skill, you choose all your opponent's battle cards in rest mode, KO them, then choose all your opponent's battle cards and switch them to rest mode. So similar to the skill on the old set 1 Frieza SR, but instead of being KO'd, like that one was when it's played, you KO your opponent's stuff in rest mode and switch the rest of stuff to rest mode, and it's the same thing when it's removed. So it's a pretty strong card, and it's only a rare as well, which is interesting, which is quite cheap. And then the last one we have is the SR, or the SR for green yellow, being Turtles Dominance at Hand. So this is a 4 cost 16k, NG Exhaust blocker, a rival green yellow for 1 yellow, and it has 2 skills. First one being auto, where when this card is played from your hand, you draw 1 card and then choose 1 or 2 effects. If your lead card is green, you choose one of your opponent's battle cards and switch to rest mode. But if your lead card is yellow, you choose one of your opponent's battle cards and it goes to 4 or less and KO it. It's like a switch around the wrong way, because normally yellow's thing is about tapping and green's effect is about KOing. But with this one, they switched it around, so green rests something, and if your lead is yellow, it KOs something, which is quite cool. And switch it around. Then the other skill we got on it is an activate main with limit 1, where you ever pay 1 green or 1 yellow, and if there are 2 or more Turtles Crusher Corpse cards in play in your battle area, you play this card from your hand. So quite an easy way to EX Evolve into the 6-drop. So just playing this by that, getting the auto the trigger, and then EX Evolve to go into the 6-drop. So it's quite interesting. Like, it's nice now to see how, like, a bit more of how the old stuff can work with the new stuff, being different colors and different ways of playing. And now Bandai given us the answer in a set. And then the last lot of cards Bandai give us, because today, instead of giving us something new, they instead revealed the pre-release promo, and yeah, the pre-release promos we get with when we go to our pre-releases, being the Reboot Turtles Leader Nappa Unison, and also the Premium Pack promo card of the green yellow battle counter attack that we get with the pre-release. Not pre-release, the Premium Pack.
But the last lot is TPs for Multicolour. So Multicolour get TP cards in a set. Like we've got in the last set as well. So for the first one, we have King Vegeta Great Apes Rule. So it's a 4 cost 20k, Energy Source Blocker, and an arrival for red green. So we got another arrival for red green and in a TP. So it's got 2 autos. First one by paying 1 red. So this is more encourages playing it as a red green if you want to get the skill. When this card is played, your opponent may choose 2 cards in hand and discard them. If they don't, you choose 1 card in your opponent's battle area and place it in its owner's drop area. Now that's really nice because it gives you position your opponent where they can either discard 2, which is nice what green does, or you get rid of one of your opponent's battle cards. Now it doesn't go for barrier, but the good thing about this is it just placed in its owner's drop area. So if your opponent has something where it needs to be KO'd to get a skill, this does not trigger that because it's not KO'd, it's placed in the drop area. So from off the top of my head, it can get around things like the set. I think set 11 Gogeta chain where that says it can't be KO'd. This can get around that. The near auto is at the end of your turn. Choose all Great Ape cards in your battle area and switch to active mode. So this is really nice to support that. You can build a Great Ape deck in multicolor now. Technically, we got very few green ones. We got red ones. We got blue ones. We got yellow ones, and we got multicolor ones. So I think this is the third multicolor red green one. We saw the Raditz previously, and there's a Vegeta one in a really old TP. So that's nice support, and that's definitely one that's good in the cube. Next one we have is some old support for the what set was it? Set 8? No, it might be set 7. Yeah, set 7. Set 7 for the old Vegeta support. And that is SSB Vegeta Blue Omen. It's a 2 cost 16k, Energy Exhaust Blocker. First skill is an auto, limit 1 for 1 yellow. If the front of your leader card is a blue Son Goku and Vegeta, which the set 7 Vegeta leader is on the front, and you have 2 or less energy, when this card in your hand is played or placed in your energy, place the top card of your deck in your energy, and your opponent chooses up to 1 card in their hand and place it in their energy. So that's quite interesting. You can, if you charge this turn 2 and use the ever energy you've charged, if it's yellow, to tap that to pay for the cost. You can then charge 1 from the top of your deck to go straight to 3 on your turn 2, but then your opponent gets the opportunity to charge 1 card in their hand as well. So that's quite cool. Helps fulfill the condition quite quickly for what that old deck, the old set 7 Vegeta was trying to do. Then you have his activate main, where for 1 blue, 1 green, 1 blue, 1 yellow, and 1 of any color. And if your leader card is a Vegeta card, you choose up to 1 blue, yellow, multicolor Vegeta card, energy cost with the original energy cost of 8 in your hand, and play it on top of this card. So I think there's 2 targets for this. And there is the SR Vegeta for the set back set 7, and there's a secret rare that came in that set as well. So that's not too bad, playing for energy to play the old secret rare. So I think it was an 8 drop. I might be wrong. Let me know in the comments below if I'm wrong. It might have been a 6 drop instead. I can't remember. I think it might have been an 8 drop though. But that'd be cool if it was an 8 drop. You know, to free energy, play your secret rare, which then comes down, taps 4 and draws 4 for free energy. That's really good. And there's no energy restriction on it. Like normally you can do this if you or your opponent's at a certain energy. No, it's just this is on the board in your battle area, and you've got free energy to pay. Do this, play that. It's pretty good. And the last one we got is some AOD support, and that is in Baby Janemba Malefic Agent of Destruction. Now, this is a 3 cost 20k red yellow one. So even though red yellow didn't get support in the set, you got support in a TP, and it's a energy exhaust blocker with offering limit 1. That meaning that it doesn't matter how many times you drop, how many of them you drop in a turn, you can only activate the offering skill on any copies of this card once a turn. And then it has a permanent where if your opponent has 5 or more cards in rest mode, negate this card's energy exhaust skill in all areas. So that's another one
So that's a never color combination that gets a card that can negate its energy or skill if it meets conditions, but not the most optimal. Like the green red one has that, but you has to have less cards in their hand, like a certain amount of cards in their hand, which, as we said, can be triggered turn 1 if you go in second. But this one is not something you can do for a few turns. Like, so you have to have 5 cards or more in rest mode. So it's not, but it's a really good card for AOD because, as we know, with the Barbody, it can make it can reduce its cost by 1 and remove its specified color cost. So you can free play off your lead, and that's really nice to get a free play 20k off your lead that then either says, let me draw 2, or you crit a life. It's really good for the AOD deck. I don't know if it'll bring back the AOD deck, but it's a very good card, I feel, for the AOD archetype. And that is it for today, for this week, sorry. So thank you for watching. If you watched through this hour-long episode, we did get quite a few cards. I want to go through it a bit more thoroughly. But once again, feel free to like, comment, and subscribe if you want. If you enjoyed the video, want to point out anything I've done wrong, or request anything, or say anything at all. And also by subscribing, you help me out, help me in the channel out, and also it helps you keep up to date of my videos when, if and when they drop, well, as and when they drop, by getting notifications so that you know when I drop them. And as we know, if you've been watching this regularly, this is a series that comes out every week on a Sunday to basically go over the week's news in one video, so you don't have to go through multiple days trying to see what has been revealed. But yeah, once again, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.